All right, welcome back to the channel. So, this is going to be interesting, man. We could possibly have a fight between the GOAT and the daughter of the GOAT. Quote GOAT. Claressa Shields and Laila Ali. Laila Ali says she dead serious about fighting Claressa Shields if the money's right. And some people are saying that the fight between Claressa Shields and Laila Ali could be the biggest female pay-per-view of all time. And I'm certainly hope that fight can happen, and I hope it can happen for both of these people. I will tell you why and how in this video. Stay tuned. Thank you. All right, let's talk about women's boxing. Gotta love it, man. Women's boxing is something that has peaks and valleys. The peaks are high, the valleys are long. So only a few times in my life has women boxing ever really jumped to a point where it was even where any women's fight was considered on par with any men's championship fight. And the few times that I've seen that have been with Laila Ali, and the time when Laila Ali, Christy Martin, who else was out there? Mia St. John, Ann Wolfe, Lucia Riker. That time when those guys were all around the time they were all fighting one another, there really was a very big push in women's boxing, and the biggest couple people involved in it were Christy Martin and Laila Ali. Christy Martin used to be called the coal miner's daughter, and Laila Ali's obviously the daughter of Muhammad Ali. They actually wound up fighting in a really gross mismatch in which Laila Ali just beat her from stem to stern. Just beat her up because she was way too big. But Laila Ali also had fights with like Jackie Frazier lied, so it was like a female version of the Rumble in the Jungle between not the Rumble in the Jungle, the Thriller in Manila between Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier. So that was a really big peak in women's boxing. It was really fun. I watched as many of the fights as I could. Very, very entertaining. Can't leave Ann Wolfe out of that discussion because I was like, when's Laila Ali going to fight Ann Wolfe? Right? That never happened. Then Laila Ali retired, Christy Martin retired, and everything was kind of like went down. Then you have, at least in the United States, it might not be that way like in Norway or in Great Britain, there was a resurgence of women's boxing when Claressa Shields turned pro. Claressa Shields being from Detroit, from Michigan. I think she's from Flint, but please, I don't want to give the wrong town in Detroit but people in Detroit get mad when you say Detroit. People in Michigan get mad when you say Detroit, and it's really like Lansing or something like that, right? So she's from Michigan, but a two-time Olympic champion. Now we never had that before, primarily because women weren't in the Olympics before the 2008 Olympics. But Claressa Shields, being from a great city of boxing or great state of boxing, did her thing, won the 2 Olympic gold medals. She turned pro, and now there's excitement again in women's boxing. Now the problem is that for Claressa Shields is that the other big names in women's boxing are a lot smaller than her, or are not particularly interested in fighting her. And that being Katie Taylor, who I do believe is an undisputed lightweight champion, and Cecilia Brækhus, who is the undisputed long-time undefeated welterweight champion of the world. Now, there have been a lot of talk about Laila Ali fighting Cecilia Brækhus, but Cecilia Brækhus seems like she is just more, she's much more about, I'm about to go get Katie Taylor, right? Because she doesn't feel like she's a very, very big 147 pounder. She feels like she walks around at 147 and that she could easily lose it. It'd be easier for her not being that big, just to fight in a little lower weight class and fight Katie Taylor than it would be fighting somebody that is much bigger than her in Claressa Shields. Even though she is not completely She hasn't completely written the fight off. It just, from her words, it's just got to be honest, it just doesn't seem like that's something she's really pushing for. She feels like she can get that money. She can get the money, get the belts, get the accolades over there with DAZN paying her a bunch of money. So it is what it is. But where does that leave Claressa Shields? It leaves Claressa Shields with a fight that could be made against one of the people I mentioned from that former peak of female boxing, Laila Ali. Now, they've gone back and forth with one another. Laila Ali has been on, I do believe Laila Ali was on The Breakfast Club. Claressa Shields is everywhere. And Claressa Shields is kind of acting like Devin Haney. Both Devin Haney and Claressa Shields are pretty much in everybody's chest talking about, let's make these fights. So Claressa Shields has talked about Cecilia Brækhus and Laila Ali. She's like, hey, let's fight. Because I'm not sure what Laila Ali said about her, but I do know that Cecilia Brækhus was in a picture where they're talking about the real GOAT, kind of teasing her or whatever. So Laila Ali said, yeah, man, if the money's right, let's make the fight. I'd like to see it. Now, this is me being, what kind of word can I say? Is it sadistic? Like, is it right? Like, because I have no doubt that Claressa Shields is going to beat Laila Ali. None. Like, I have very little doubt that if Laila Ali was in her absolute prime and she fought Claressa Shields, that she's going to lose to Claressa Shields. I just don't think that she's as good a fighter. I don't think she's as good of a fighter as Claressa Shields. She might be more. One thing I can say about Laila Ali is there's a chance that she might be more talented, because when I remember watching Laila Ali really could move. She could move fairly well. And she was a tough girl. She wasn't somebody that was, I mean, she'd take a shot. She'll take a shot to the dome and keep on coming. She wasn't soft. She's not soft. She's big. She does have some power. She is, for what she can do, she is fundamentally sound. She has a lot of talent, but a lot of talent and now a lot of age against somebody that also has a lot of talent and has a lot of skill and has an age advantage. It just looks like it is a big problem for Laila Ali. However, money will make people do some things. And if Laila Ali is serious and she's saying, hey, it's just the money, how much money? Then, hey, a pay-per-view with Claressa Shields would be a great thing if it could pop off. But the problem with it is, in order for that to happen, Laila Ali is going to have to take some tune-up fights. You know what I mean? Like, Laila Ali is going to have to do something to remind the general boxing public that she is somebody that should be taken seriously. So even if you do like just grab somebody. Like, matter of fact, do a rematch with Jackie Frazier Lied, and just make it like get us something where Laila Ali can get a devastating knockout and she can talk a lot of smack and get somebody to believe that she can beat Claressa Shields. Then, hey man, you very, very well might have that big money fight that people are saying could be the biggest women pay-per-view, the biggest women's pay-per-view of all time. Now, I don't know how many actual women pay-per-views there's been for it to be the biggest of all time, but hey man, if they can make their money, cool. Now, there's a reason that I want to see that, even though I am thoroughly convinced I know what's going to happen in that fight if it takes place. And it's not me purely being sadistic. I would very much like for Claressa Shields to get a mega fight so that she can win and look devastating that would allow her to be that cash cow that would direct and have a lot of other fighters wanting to go and fight her, to make her big enough where Cecilia Brækhus doesn't have a choice to choose between a fight with Katie Taylor and a fight with a fight with Claressa Shields. She would just be like, look, the money's there for Claressa Shields. If she and I do it, it's a big pay-per-view fight. And that would allow Claressa Shields to get the fights with the only real big name fighter in the women's game that she can tee off, that she can go against. Now, there is I mean, because if you look at like the weights ahead of time, you have Cruz, DeZern, you got to forgive me for killing her name, the 168-pound champion that got her belt back after the woman Alejandra Jimenez got caught cheating, right? You know, there's her, but I do believe that Claressa Shields had already beaten her early in their career. I think they both maybe had like 1 or 2 fights at the time that they fought. But you know, Claressa, that could be somebody that where it could be built up to be a big fight, but Claressa Shields already beat her. You know, so anyway, I'm hoping for this fight with Laila Ali. I hope that maybe I wouldn't even mind going to DAZN, man. Hey, DAZN, you ain't got a lot of boxing matches coming up. Make the fight, because I think it would be good for Claressa Shields. If it's a situation where Laila Ali can make a lot of money, I don't have any problem with Ali's putting money in their pocket. Let's do it. Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.